Hello, my name is Joe from Brandseed, and welcome to another episode. Today is a really exciting video that I actually get to make. Notice how I said I get to make because it really does feel that way. I have sold my first logo. And now this wasn't the biggest project in the world by any means, but it was definitely significant enough. And as my first logo, I felt like I was compensated enough. It was just, and I'm not going to get into the numbers of it, but I was very happy, especially it being my very first project. And I want to explain really what I thought sold the logo and why it is maybe an upgrade to what they have been portraying before, which I'm not really sure if they had like an actual logo or many variations of identity to for what seemed good for whatever the implication was. So this was a whole new experience for them, very sought after and very anticipated moment for me to look forward. And let's jump into it. The first thing that I want to bring up is this is their website, and and I want to bring up a couple of things that I like and that I didn't like about what I saw here when I was first introduced to this. The website is, let's say it. I mean, one hand, it is very clean. There is absolutely no question about that. Unfortunately, I'm not. I wasn't commissioned to redesign the website. It just wasn't in the ballpark of getting things together for them. They have a lot more things that they wanted to get taken care of first, which I completely understand. But this is what you could call what they represented as their logo. For one thing, it does say Buckeye Hills. It doesn't say Country Club, but it does have the golf. It has the golf clubs. It has a little bit of, reminiscing of the Buckeye tree, which is the Ohio State tree, if you didn't already know. It's actually very prominent. You can, if you know, like college football at all, the Ohio State University, I really should say, is a very prominent football team. And, they are the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they show off the Buckeye leaf, and there's a lot of pride in Ohio for this, the good old scarlet and gray. But I wanted to bring you to the sign. This sign is beautiful. The only thing, it is by no means a cheap sign. It's definitely a beautiful, well-crafted sign. Me as a designer, though, I look at things like this and I see things that I would make a little bit different to make it stand out, so that you could see this thing a mile away and know exactly what it is. One of the only things that I could really say about this sign, other than it doesn't really portray their logo, so there's like a constant that goes across, is that the lettering should be a dark color in contrast with the white background. Otherwise, you see this very beautifully shaped sign, but you don't really know what it is until you get closer up on it. Like at this distance, I would say that I'm probably, and I was there, you would have to be probably, within 100 yards to really see what it is, and hopefully you're stopping in time. But if you had a clear Buckeye Hills Country Club, and you could see that, you could literally see the sign from a mile away if they just changed the color to black. But like this up here, Buckeye Hills, you could see that a mile away. It's very contrasted. That's the most contrast that you can have on a white background, black text. And I actually wanted to go ahead and show you the location because I actually really like the location of this. This is where I'm from in Dayton. A little bit more to the southeast side, more over here, and I was actually born somewhere up here. But it's really close to Cincinnati, which is it's a southern city in Ohio that borders right on the Ohio River and borders Kentucky. Very, very, very big city. I mean, Dayton is considered like a bigger city. Not really. It's a good sized city. And then Cincinnati is a bigger city, and so is Columbus, which is the capital of it's the capital of Ohio. And Buckeye Country Club kind of sits right in the middle of all of it. So you have a lot of college with Wright State University up here, the University of Cincinnati, and the Ohio State. You have a big pool, and you can imagine what could really be the potential of this. But this place is out in the middle of nowhere. The potential of this place is actually really, really big in just my eyes. Maybe not everybody's eyes, but I see a lot of potential in this place, which is why I was very, very, very happy to team up and get some work done for them. Very, very, very honored that they even considered me, really. So going back to the website, I do want to go ahead and pull up what you've been waiting for, which is the logo. And well, without any further, this is what I created. Buckeye Hills Country Club. I didn't go with a lot of color at all, actually. I did just white, not really white. It's like this super soft, like you could touch it and it's almost supple, with the same kind of feeling on the black. And they just kind of overlay each other, Buckeye Hills and Country Club, to establish the hierarchy of it. Buckeye Hills and really big, and Country Club underneath, but it spreads. But I did want to talk about like why did this sell over something else that they could have gotten on Fiverr or something like that. And I really do feel that Fiverr would have tried to sell something like this to them. You get a $5 logo. That's it. This is what you get with a $5 logo. Now I might offend somebody with that, but I mean, like, it works. Don't get me wrong. It says it clear. It has a picture of Ohio. It also has a reference. It just has too many references, but it works, if you get what I'm saying. Going back to this, it works better. Now, it doesn't say, Buckeye Leaf or the Ohio State or anything like that. It's a golf ball on a golf tee and right in the middle of the crosshairs, and the flag stick included with the hills. It's very, very simple. And I think that's one of the big reasons why this sold, is because it is simple. I can put this onto, you could print it on anything. The thread count of embroidery is very low, and especially seeing as it's all one color, you don't have to switch between one color or the other. Buckeye Hills, the serif typeface that I picked, which is just times, nothing fancy, no big spending on it or anything. It just works. And it says that they've been established. It says that they've been around. They know what they're talking about, and they want to provide that. They want to provide that to you. And I really did get that, kind of feeling. The lawn was super nicely manicured, and I say the lawn, but it's really the course was very nicely manicured. They have carts. And all of them, none of them seemed like they had just been drove into the dirt. It's just, they've been there. They feel passionate about this, which is the most important thing of any business, is that if they're passionate about it, it shows. Now, going further into the icon, I did have this, I wanted to show, and as us graphic designers, we're really nerdy on what the proportions are. How did you come up with it? Well, just coming up with it, I did go through a couple of iterations, but I don't want to go into those. I want to show why this one was the one. And you can immediately just feel that just by looking at it. It says it, and it says it well. It says it in a very articulate, very abstract, but you just understand way. Now I do have the guides here, and this is on Affinity Designer. I don't use Adobe products, even though I probably should. This is something that is very affordable. I bought it once, and it does everything that I need it to do before I jump into a huge like there's a huge oh man, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like a community of software. It's like jumping into the Apple thing. It's like everything just works. But anyways, Affinity does a fantastic job. I got these results on Affinity, which is a $50 program. So if you're getting into design, definitely look at Affinity. But these are all my guides. I just wanted, I just use the same thickness all around. It's monoline without being it's not really monoline. I forget the name of how you describe this, but it's all the same thickness. Except for right here where I did this, that is exactly half of the thickness of any one of these lines here, 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 and here. Another thing that I did, I could have kept this very cut straight, very pointy. I rounded off the edges just slightly, except for right here, which would cut through, and that kind of gives it the feeling of depth. So you're looking at the hills, and you just want to see it soar off into this three-dimensional space, and all of that combined is what sold this logo. It wasn't because it looked like a golf ball. It wasn't because it showed the flag stick. It isn't because it showed the hills, or the implication of a software, or the fact that it fits in a square perfectly, which is something that I also want. That's something that you should always keep in mind, is that it should always fit in a square. But that's just my creative thought behind it, is that if you keep it in a square, it's easily proportional. It just works, and I keep pointing at the screen, but you can't see me, which, by the way, I want to go ahead and put this out. Do you guys want to see my face? I am just a blonde guy from Ohio, and I don't think I would look very well on camera, but at the same time, I do want to get more into videography, and I love taking photos. I just don't know if bringing myself into it would actually change any kind of like who I bring in, how many people I bring in. I hear that, it changes the story. It makes a story out of everything. But I just want to leave that up to you. Please comment below, and I'll definitely consider actually doing that. Otherwise, it'll be just like this, so it won't change. Not that I upload regularly, but I do want to change that. But yeah, like, everything's the same thickness. I terminate at the right lines. All of this terminates together instead of making like a really weird part. Everything has its own shape that it can go to, except for here. This is different, but it's just different enough without being obtrusive and not understanding why. This is the exact same thickness up and down. It's double the width of the normal thickness. It just feels very proportional. And let me know in the comments below if you feel that this is proportional or not for you. I always want to hear what other designers are thinking, what other logoists are thinking when they see my work, because then that helps me grow, and then the comments below, when somebody's reading through it, it helps them grow. It helps them, get to the best of their abilities. So please, by all means, let me know what you think, for better or worse. I also made a case study, and this is something that I also feel really put me in the running of actually being able to sell this photo. And right at the beginning, I have Buckeye Country Club's very contrast with the background. I'm not 100% happy with how this looks, but it shows it very well. But right at the beginning, I already start doing a mock-up, like what it could look like on a golf ball. I'm already selling it for what they can sell, what they will be able to make money on with just this mark. And that is just simply giving them something that they can look at, giving them something that they can sell that they know is going to make money. Keep scrolling down. I have what the original and what the negative is so that they know that it can work back and forth. It just makes me happy, but I did mess up here. As you can see, it's not very rounded out there, but everything still it sold very well still, even though this was messed up. But I did give them the perfect model of it. But I did go in, and not only did I put like a watermark in the background that's behind these two people playing golf and having a great time, but I've also put it on their shirts, as you can see, and I did a little bit of blurring so it looks like they're actually there. I put a little bit more time into it to just show how somebody could just wear this and they would buy the shirt. They would feel a part of a community, like they're somewhere where people understand them, where they just get along with each other. They know what they're doing. They're having a great time. If we scroll down, I also show the work, just like I showed you. That clients, I feel, love seeing stuff like this. It's the work. What did you do? Why did it come out like this? What inspired, like, what did you do? Like, it's the math teacher always telling you, show your work, show your work, show your work, so somebody can go in and see how much it actually took to get to that resolution, and if there's any flaws in it, and because this way you can also see your own work and see if there's any flaws in it, see if you want to critique something to keep the things proportional. Now this is very interesting. I did come up with a card. They didn't buy this, but they didn't really necessarily ask for this either. If they want it, they can absolutely have it. I have no problem giving them over a mock-up of how all of this is, but I felt like I did a really good job here. It's very clean. It's they have a space to write extra information. Now I didn't include the address of the place for the mock-up, but that was honestly my oversight. I didn't do that right. I should have included it, but it all works. And all of this perspective work, all of this work right here, I did with Affinity Photo, which is the other client, and I can't wait for Affinity Publisher because I have a really good idea for like a book that I want to do, but that's way beyond the scope of this video. I just felt like this was nice, and I got this image on Shutterstock. Shutterstock is great. I have like the most basic plan. I get like 10 photos a month, and me as the graphic designer that I am, I'm by no means, in the game all the time ready to go. I am always ready to go. I'm always willing to take another client, but this is perfect for me. Like, I can take each client as an individual basis and really curate the exact photos that I feel is necessary. Over here is just like what would be like the main color scheme, and it really is. It's super mono, just like this off-white, this gray, and this off-black, but it works so well together that it's just hard to, you look at that and you say premium. I don't know any other way to describe that. And then I also just did, some more happy people playing golf, two people talking at a country club in one of their things. They're just waiting for the next guy to take a shot or something, They could put the logo right here. They could put the logo on this hat. They could put the logo on that hat, on these shirts. They can have their own branded cart, like, number system to keep them all on track, which I'm sure that they all do. But you would be able to describe, like, oh, somebody rented this cart. I think that would be a good idea, and you would be able to see it from across the course. But all of this together is what I feel sold it. It isn't just the mark, even though that a lot of work clearly went into this mark. But if I just showed them, here you go, I'm not sure if this would have sold as well as if I showed them this case study, showing them applications of how not only to brand and just spread awareness of them, but to show what they can sell, and make a profit on, and also be able to generate a community behind them. Like a lot of YouTubers, you always hear about this, and it works with the business world too. So that is what I did for Buckeye Hills Country Club, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very honored, more honored than proud, but I'm a very proud person. It's not necessarily one of my best qualities, but I am very honored by them considering me and saying yes and actually committing to this. It was a really good feeling. If you'll always remember that first feeling, that first sale, that first time that somebody shook your hand and said, I like what you do, I want to implicate this, I want this going on with my brand, I want people to see this and know they think of me. I don't know any other way to take that than just be so happy about that. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We got a slowly growing fan base, but these I love the fact that you guys are here. It's cool to know that, you know, I mean, it's something when just your friends stop by and watch a video every once in a while, but like more than most of you guys are people that I've never met. And yeah, it's only 300, but that, like, putting 300 people in a room, that's a lot of people. It's just cool. It's just cool. So subscribe if you're new. Leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, tell me if you want to see me in here, and also tell me what you love and what you absolutely hate about this mark. And I will be back around next time. Y'all take it easy. Thank you.